welcome to Paper Jam. This is our first video cast. It's very exciting.
That's so cool.
And just so you can put a name to a face, I'm Katie.
And I'm Meredith.
And this week we are doing some oldies. So it's very exciting, a book that you can share, and have read with your parents or grandparents, and makes it kind of exciting for the holidays.
Yeah, and especially this book, I think.
Yes.
We are reviewing Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. A lot of you probably will remember this story from your childhood, hopefully. So it would be a great book to talk about over the holidays.
Yeah, I can remember when I saw the movie, the Disney movie, so that's probably one that everybody's most familiar with. But did you even know that it was a book? That's kind of exciting.
It's so funny. Until we chose to review Peter Pan, I didn't really realize that it was a novel, and a pretty lengthy novel. And it was so cool because I knew the story, but it was great to read and learn more about the characters and realize that it's much more complex than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was really cool to sort of dive into this old story. And I still enjoyed it as much today as I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, and maybe if not more, because it really goes into the background of the characters that I loved. We just got like this juicy detail from all these characters instead of it being like Captain Hook is a meanie the whole way through, evil guy.
Exactly.
You get this quote, so it's describing Captain Hook, and so I'll read it to you. Did no feeling of compassion disturb his somber breast? The man was not wholly evil. He loved flowers, I have been told, and sweet music. He was himself no mean performer on the harpsichord. So, that's kind of cute. You get to see his little musical side, but he liked flowers, so he's not just like this evil Hook guy.
You're so right. Because I remember watching the movie and I hated Hook, and I was like, oh, he's so bad, he's so mean. And then in the book, you just realize that there's more to him than just his meanness. You get more of a background story. And, I love, and that's true for all the characters in Peter Pan. I mean, it's true for Tinkerbell and Tiger Lily.
Like the pirates and the Lost Boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many more characters than I remember and realize, and there's so much more complex than I thought. And so that was really fun.
Yeah, definitely. And actually something that I really liked that you don't get from the play or the movie, as far as I can remember, is that you have the narrator's voice.
Yeah.
And he is not just your everyday narrator who, just tells you, okay, now we're setting the scene in Neverland. He kind of goes into detail and gives you his opinion.
He's really spunky.
He is sassy pants. He's like, those kids, those little brats, and they don't know what's coming for them. And so that's kind of fun, to see.
It is fun. And it would have been fun for a kid to hear that and to hear that kind of voice and that presence in the story. But it's really fun for
an adult
too.
For sure.
It's like we're picking up a lot of things that maybe children wouldn't pick up on.
Yeah, like your little brother or sister or something. It's like an extra layer of detail and fun for you.
Exactly. Although I will say that the narrator, since this book was written in 1911,
it's 100 years ago.
I know,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
This, the time period is a little different. And so he does use some language that wasn't familiar to me. I had to do a little Wikipedia work and figure out what a pram was.
Yeah, which is a stroller.
Yes. And, they call Nana, the dog, they call her the nurse instead of like a babysitter, which is what I think of when I think of a nurse.
Yeah, or a nanny or something, yeah.
But there are so many things that are so true of childhood in this story that were really true for me. Like, you can see even with 100 years difference.
Definitely.
And I picked out this little passage, it's one of my favorites. It's describing a map of a child's mind. This is like very close to the beginning, and it says, map of a child's mind includes things like the first day at school, religion, mothers and fathers, needlework, murders, verbs, chocolate pudding day, getting into braces, pulling out your teeth, all those kinds of things that I remember doing when I was a kid are what all of the darling children experience in Peter Pan, which is really cool.
And that's something that just everybody can relate to, even though there is that time difference. But the thing is, not time difference, time period difference, but even it's still capturing the imagination of like producers and things today.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Hook came out in 1991, and I know that's a while ago, but it's still more recent than 100 years ago. And it's got Robin Williams and Julia Roberts, and it's this story about Peter Pan has grown up, and this is Robin Williams, and he's got this business job, and he doesn't remember Neverland, and it's kind of cool because you get to see the characters like Toodles. He wasn't in the Disney movie, but you get to see him here. So that's kind of fun. And it's Captain Hook comes back to steal Peter Pan's children so he can challenge him into a duel to like get him back for cutting off his hand and all that stuff. And so it's fun to like see that and see Peter relearn how to fly. And so it's I'm not going to give away any more of the story, but it's a wonderful film.
That was a great movie.
And then there's the other one, it's Finding Neverland, and this is about J.M. Barrie as he's coming up with the plot of Peter Pan, and you see him become captivated with this woman and her children and their play and their interaction with his dog, and it's just so, oh my gosh, it's just the most precious movie. It is actually very emotional though, so bring your tissues because I cried the whole darn time.
Okay, well, try not to cry while you're thinking about it right
I'll try.
But there's also another story that they could check out, that you guys could check out if you really end up liking Peter Pan, if you go through and read it sometime soon. This is another story by J.M. Barrie. It's called Little White Bird, and it's a really cool story, and it comes before Peter Pan, and you can really see throughout this story how Barrie was shaping his ideas about Peter Pan. It includes a lot of the same fantasy. The basic plot is that there's this young man, and he meets this woman who has a young son, and he becomes attached to both of them. He takes the young son out to Kensington Gardens frequently, and they have all these sort of fantastical adventures. And fairies and all these other kind of really cool things that you see later in Peter Pan.
Yeah, it's cute. Like the vignette of the kiss being the thimble. You see that happen with like a different character. And then you see that in Peter Pan and you're like, oh, I remember that. So that's really cool, and it's very sweet. And one of the main themes of this story is that it's about a boy growing up, specifically David, the little boy in this story. And so you can see that in Peter Pan as well as this, and he's growing up and he knows that he's going to have to go off to school soon and put on a uniform, and that's kind of like the end of his innocence. And so this theme, we wanted to bring this up because it's something that everybody
we're still experiencing right now.
I mean, we're all growing up, we're all changing, we're all having to leave our childhood behind. So, that's what makes it fun for like you and your grandparents and your parents and hopefully your kids and their kids. So,
definitely.
Some nice little story for everyone.
Yeah, I think this was the perfect story to end on. And sadly, this is our last review for you guys. It's our last session being your book DJs for Paper Jam. But be sure to stay tuned. Keep up with our Facebook page and email us if you have any questions or comments. We would always love to talk to you about YA Lit or any other kind of literature. And hopefully there'll be some new book DJs in the coming months for you guys. So thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.